Hey guys, welcome back to Kenssar. Today I'm going to be reading two books to you. The two books are called Curious George, Snowy Day, and The Incredible Hulk, The Hulk Rules. First, I will be reading Curious George, Snowy Day. George woke up to a wonderful surprise. It had snowed all night. George was curious about all that clean white snow. Maybe he could build something out of it. "You go outside, George," said the man with the yellow hat. "I'll make some cocoa for later." This was going to be a perfect day. George went out to play. He sank right into the fluffy powder. Oh no! Bill, George's friend and neighbor, came by. He did not have any trouble walking on the snow. "Hey George," Bill said, "I have an extra pair of cross-country skis you can have." These? Then Bill showed George how to ski by making zigzags through the snow. George could not wait to try it for himself. With skis, George could stay on top of the snow, and he followed Bill uphill. Suddenly they heard a noise. Oink, 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 oink. Bill said, "I'm going to find out what that is. You wait here." George waited on top of the hill in the cold. His house looked so small and warm. George wanted to get home for his cocoa. Was Bill coming back? "Hey George," Bill shouted from the bottom of the hill. I couldn't find whatever made that jump, but I have to head home now. Keep the skis and have fun." So George did, for a while. When George was tired, he skied down the hill toward home until he hit a rock. The skis flew off. George tumbled the rest of the way down.
That's funny.
George picked himself up at the bottom of the hill. What would he do now? He spotted two children pulling a sled. They were walking on the snow, but they did not have skis. How did they do it? It had to be those wide flat shoes they wore. "Vinny, I think he likes our snowshoes," the girl said. George nodded. "Vicky and I live on the other side of the hill," said Vinny. "If you come with us, we'll lend you snowshoes so you can get home too. Climb aboard the sled." It was fun to sail down another hill, but now George was even farther from his house. "Here you go, monkey," Vicky said. She gave George her snowshoes and climbed on the sled. "Bye, monkey. Good luck." George began his long journey home. He was cold and tired. And climbing up the hill was hard work. The thought of a nice steaming cup of hot cocoa kept him going. Oink! George looked up. There was that noise again. He decided to follow it. Oh, it's a pig. A lost cold pig. What was he doing out here all by himself? And now what? And now how could George rescue the poor pig? George remembered how Vicky and Vinny had rescued him. What George needed was a sled. It had to be flat and big enough for the pig to sit on. A fallen sign nearby looked like a good choice. What a ride! When George got home, he found his neighbor Farmer Rackins talking to the man with the yellow hat. "Thanks for bringing my pig home, George," the farmer said. "He got out last night before it snowed." "Good work, George," said the man in the yellow hat. "There's some cocoa waiting for you inside." That was exactly what George had hoped to hear. skiing, snowshoeing, sledding, and now Coca. It had been the perfect snowy day. And that is the end of our first book, everyone.
That's nice. Good job reading.
Now our next book, The Incredible Hulk, The Hulk Rules. It was a sunny day in Porto Verde, Brazil, and Bruce Banner was on his morning run. He checked his pulse monitor, 90 beats per minute. Good, he thought, as long as I can keep it this way. For 5 years, Bruce Banner has been living in hiding. He vowed to stay hidden until he found a cure for his condition. See, when Bruce Banner got angry and his heart rate got too high, he transformed into an enormous green out-of-control monster. A monster known as the Hulk.
That's a funny story.
Later that night, Bruce experimented with the serum that a fellow scientist, Mr. Blue, had written about him. Bruce mixed the serum with a sample of his blood and watched, but nothing happened. Bruce thought about why he had left home in the first place and how he became the Hulk and almost killed Betty Ross, another scientist, and the love of his life. Never again, he thought. The next morning, Bruce mailed his sample to Mr. Blue. A few days later, Bruce received good news. Mr. Blue had figured out a way to lessen the gamma saturation in Blue's blood. And in order to come up with the right formula, Mr. Blue needed to know more about Bruce's first exposure to gamma radiation. Easy enough, Bruce thought. All he had to do was go back to his old lab at Culver University to get the results of this experiment. The U.S. military had been searching for Bruce since his disappearance, and they finally had a lead, a possible case of Dagma sickness in Milwaukee. The cause was a Gardena soda bottle in Porto Verde, Brazil. Major Cassian Spar immediately told General Rose about it. Get the agency people looking for a white man at the building plant. General Rose commanded. Told him not to contact him or he'll run. A few days later, General Rose and Major Spar set off for Brazil with a team of special forces. The mission was headed by Captain Milan Blosky, a Purple Heart soldier. That night, Captain Blonsky's special forces teams arrived at Porto Verde. The soldiers quietly made their way up the stairs to Bruce's apartment. Boom! Bruce's French door burst off its hinges as they charged inside. A large heap under the bed covers seemed to indicate that Bruce was sleeping peacefully. But when the captain yanked back the covers, all he found was a mass of pillows and a plastic hat. Target is on the move, Captain Velocity called out.
To trick them.
With a fake plastic hat.
Yeah.
And a bunch of pillows.
That's a weird guy.
Bruce ran as fast as he could. He tried to keep his heart rate low, but it wasn't easy. He ducked. He ducked into the soda bottling plant, but they followed him inside. After a while, he couldn't stop his pulse from rising. He couldn't help turning into the Hulk, and thankfully, becoming the Hulk helped him to escape. Later, even when he returned to being Bruce Banner, he continued to run as far as possible. Shocked by what he had just seen, Captain Volonsky told General Rowe, "We didn't lose him. We had him, and something hit us. Something big, 10 feet tall and green. Those banner rolls replied. Matter of facility. The general explosion that years ago Bruce Banner had injected himself with grounded radiation during the military experiment. But something went wrong and it caused Bruce to turn him into the Hulk. I wouldn't mind a little extra shrimp puncture balloons. I can finally be the unbeatable soldier I've always wanted to be. Maybe General Rose can help me out. Later that evening, the General Rose led Captain Blonsky to one of his army's medical labs. We are going to give you a very low dose of the super soldier serum, General Rose said. At first, the sign of side effect will stop. Back in the United States, Bruce headed for the lab at Carver University where he had infected himself with, and the Hulk was born. Bruce found a new computer terminal and managed to access the school's network after a few tries. He quickly searched for the original data. Bruce didn't know what to do next, so it was fortunate that he ran into his old friend Betty Ross. He needs the original data for the experiment.
I think you need to read here. He filled.
Oh yeah, he filled Betty on.
He filled Betty in.
He filled Betty in on Mr. Blues and the possible cure for his condition. Betty knew that Bruce was talking about Dr. Samuel Stokes.
Good.
He needs the original data for the experiment, but it's gone, Bruce told him. And Betty surprised Bruce by handing him a card containing the data from his first exposure. They got it out before they carted it all the way, she said. Betty was walking Bruce to the bus station when a sudden thundering noise came from above. Bruce looked to see soldiers coming to work from all directions. He took off in full sprint and ran through an underpass, only to be stopped by an explosion. As the tunnel filled with smoke, Bruce saw Betty running toward him, and then a soldier grabbing her arm. That was all it took for Bruce's heart to raise or rise. An uncontrollable anger burned him inside, and once again the Hulk was set free. The Hulk continued to grow, 10 feet tall and huge. The soldiers have never seen anything like him. Even Captain Balonsky and his super soldier serum were no match for this monster. The Hulk put up a good fight and the soldiers finally backed down. Once again, the Hulk managed to escape, and this time he took Betty with him. Betty and Hulk saw Cedric in a cave somewhere in the forest. Even as the Hulk seemed to recognize who she was and knew that she had to protect her, after a while when Bruce's heart rate returned to normal, he told Betty it's time to go find Mr. Blue. They headed for the Empire State University in New York City. On the way, Bruce sent Mr. Blue the original data from Betty's memory chip. He hoped with all his heart that with it Mr. Blue could find a cure. Captain Balonsky was hurt pretty badly in this fight with the Hulk, and doctors had even told him he would never walk again, but it was not long before Emily Balonsky was fully healed and determined to not let the Hulk defeat him once more. I need something stronger, the soldiers thought. A few days later, Captain Balonsky received his second injection of the super soldier serum.
Okay. You're doing very well, Kenssar.
Thank you. Bruce and Betty found Dr. Stearns in the lab at Empire State University. He told them that he had created an antidote, but Bruce would have to turn into the Hulk to test it. Without stopping to think about it, Bruce raised his heart rate and became the Hulk. Without Dr. Stearns immediately injected him with a special antidote, and in minutes, to everybody's amusement, it worked. Bruce was finally himself again. "You're all right, buddy," cried. "It's over." Just then, Captain Bolonsky and his team came smashing through the lab window. A split second later, a tranquilizer dart landed on Bruce's neck, and he was collapsed at once. As Bruce was taken to General Rose, Captain Bolonsky told Dr. Stearns, "I want what you got out of Banner or else." Frightened, Dr. Stearns injected Bolonsky with a sample of Bruce's blood. "I'll be the strongest fighter in the world," Captain Bolonsky thought, "and I will beat the Hulk this time." Okay, next page. Just when General Rose thought he had finally caught the monster, a huge explosion interrupted nearby. The Hulk's in the street, a soldier cried over the radio. "Impossible," the general thought. "Banner here with me." Then right here on TV screen, General Rose saw a huge, heavily muscular green creature stomping down the city street. "It's Bolonsky," he realized, "a new monster I helped to create." Bruce was just alarmed by this new creature. Not known as the Ambulation, I'm the only thing that can stop it, he told General Rose. The ambition was destroying everything in its path until it met the Hulk. Every strike the Hulk threw to the Ambulation countered with more strength. Finally, the Hulk delivered a fatal blow, and the Ambulation was defeated. No doubt about it, the Hulk rules. And that is the end of our final book. Thank you for reading with us, everybody. Bye. See you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.